Hey everybody, KC here. So I was glad yesterday to see some movement on the mask issue. We had Walmart in the morning coming out and saying that they are going to now require masks in all of their stores. Shortly thereafter, the National Retail Federation decided that now it was appropriate for them to suggest that retailers should require masks in stores all over the country. A stirring act of courage on their part, I thought. Once now that Costco and Starbucks and Walmart had all done it. Then Kroger announced that they were going to require masks in all their stores. I'm glad we're seeing it. We're headed in that direction. I think roughly half the states now are in the position where they're requiring masks whenever people are outside. We're getting there. I mean, let's come back to the number that we had on Morning News Beat yesterday, which is that the University of Washington model suggests that if by November 1st, something like 220,000 people could be dead from the coronavirus if we continue the way we're going. However, if 95% of Americans wore masks when they're outside, you could reduce that number by 40 to 45,000 people. What are 45,000 lives worth? A little inconvenience, a little discomfort? I mean, I just find it hard to understand why there's so much resistance to mask wearing. I just don't get it. We're all going to have to make hard decisions. This is kind of happen with the school year as we go forward. Hey, listen, full disclosure, my wife and daughter are both teachers. We're having a lot of conversations in our house about what the school year is going to look like going forward. I'm a cynic. I actually think that they should not even open the schools. Keep all the kids home for the fall. I know it's difficult. It creates problems for parents. But the fact of the matter is you send all these kids to these petri dishes that are schools, whether you're in elementary school, high school, college, and you're going to have more infections. It is just inevitable. And they can say everything they want about creating cohorts. You're going to keep a certain amount of kids together so they're not exposed to other kids. They're going to be exposed to other kids, if only on the bus. Kids will find a way because, they're actually not learning the lesson that sometimes you have to do the hard thing so you don't have to do the harder thing later. I just think that those are the decisions we have to make. And by the way, there's a business element to this too. A lot of supermarkets hired young people and were able to keep them working during the early days of the pandemic, right? And during February, March, and April, because the kids were going to school at home, right? So they weren't being exposed to a lot of children. Well, how many of you who hire high school and college students, if they were to go back to school, how many of you would be comfortable then bringing them into your store where they're going to be exposed to other employees and your customers? I suspect there may be some resistance to that. So there's going to be that factor as well. Again, I think it's critical that we do the hard thing now, because if we don't, we're almost certainly going to have to do the harder thing down the road, and it's going to be even less pleasant. Anyway, that's what's on my mind this morning, and as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.